What is going on? And do you guys know what secret courts are? Yeah, I know. It sounds weird, right? It's like Secret Wars of Spider-Man and his great adventures or Marvel, etc. But what is a secret court? Well, first of all, it's a secret. Some people don't know about it, some people do know about it, and some people are actually that are involved don't even know that they're in a secret court. So unless you go to a public law library or you study law, you would understand these things, right? Because you can literally be involved in a secret court case and be under so much scrutiny and surveillance because somebody said something and then they were like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, because they're very curious these days, right? And so when you're in secret court, it means you're probably in a lot of friggin' trouble. And so, meaning, what do I mean by this, right? Well, first of all, nobody knows about it, so it's not going to be broadcasted on the news or anywhere else. Some people are going to state certain things, or they go to secret courts to get permissions or access to certain records, documents, etc., to make sure that birth certificates and social security cards and everything else checks out, because some things, as they say, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. And because a lot of people operate off that philosophy, because negativity outweighs positivity, well, when something happens and it happens like that, ooh, honey, that means you in trouble, and somebody went all the way up, right? So who has secret courts? Well, you have the religious courts. Those are sometimes secretive. They have the Ecclesiastes court, right? So on and so forth. I'm sure you've heard of Ecclesiastes. And then, of course, there's Masonic laws and Masonic courts, and those are secret societies. You've seen them in the movie National Treasure, right? When there's an issue, and then, of course, they have private conversations, like when Nick Cage and the FBI agent, who is a Freemason, said, someone's got to go to jail. And he's like, I got an idea. Because obviously, although both sides in the movie were doing the same thing, one was doing it for the right reasons, the other one was not. So there's a justification there, but somebody had to go to prison, not jail. Unless it was prison, but I'm pretty sure, unless it was jail, but I'm pretty sure it was prison. Prison's long term, jail's normally short term. Um, so things like that can occur, and normally when things like that occurs, your surveillance increases. That gets projected out to other people that observe it, so on and so forth. They'll find every loophole unless they enact certain articles or titles or whatever. And then you have to understand the jurisdictions and laws in which that those things pertain to. Whether it's international, then you would need to know admiralty law, so on and so forth. So if you were in the Navy or the Marine Corps and you went to court martial, it would be different if you were in the fucking army and you went to their military, right? The Uniform Code of Military Justice does operate similarly across different fields. However, depending on the situation and location and what is taking place, dictates what is going to be utilized as far as terminology, which is included within the context of a courtroom, right? So if something happened internationally, whether that was within business, something shady, etc., somebody being asked if they're treasonous or whatever the case may be, well, treason is an international offense because you're going from one location to another, like crossing state lines if you're dealing with the FBI, so on and so forth, or local counties if you're dealing with state or local police, so on and so forth. So think about that, right? Now, all this occurs, gets broadcasted out to everybody. Everybody gets interviewed. They can do psychological operations to entice you, or they can just do whatever they want and have whatever judgments come out, depending on not only what's being heard, but what's being understood, observed, and, well, what definitions actually dictate and pertain to the words, similar to etymology or using using an entendre so that there is a full understanding, because people have the tendency to sometimes speak in a codex form, right? Or format. So you have to understand everything that is being stated, because it's very precise and specific, due to the fact of also having plausible deniability, or lying by way of omission. Not lying through omission, lying by way of omission, right? Leaving stuff out, which is why your questions have to be very specific, right? And I make this analogy when you utilize things like ChatGPT or AI, right? The better the question, the better the answer, which is why I also recommend people to watch Class, A Way of Thinking Better, not just different. So, this has been another episode of Finding Freedom. What are secret chords? So, this wasn't a in-depth thing. This was pretty much educational purposes, very brief, but you can do your own research and, well, go down the rabbit hole and see what you find. Leave it in the comments if you think this is BS. By all means, it's for fun anyways, and if you have that much time, well, then thank you, for giving me and sharing with me your tea, your time, energy, and attention, because you had to take action, which took time, and you had to, waste calories to type in the comments. So until next time, my friends, take care. Have a great day. Peace.